God alone is all of our trust. Even in the New Testament, we discover that in one of the episodes, one of the teaching opportunities, one of the training opportunities for the disciples, that occurs in John chapter 6, Jesus is sharing a message with the masses, with the Jews who have gathered or are following him, not necessarily because they trust him, not because they believe in him, but because they saw miracles, because they ate the bread. And Jesus discerned that everybody who was following him, wasn't really following him, shared a hard message, and he says that you must eat my flesh and drink my blood. And some folk, they missed it, they didn't really understand what he was saying, and they began to turn and walk away from Jesus. This is a hard message. They walk away discouraged and in despair, and Jesus turns and looks squarely at the 12 and says to them, will you leave too? And Peter speaks up. He says, Jesus, where will we go? Who else can do what it is that you do? We have believed that you are the Lord's Messiah, that you are Jesus the Christ, and there is no one else worth following. And so rather than turn away from you, we'll keep following you and we'll keep trusting you.
Yes.
In a world of divided affections.
Yes.
Disciples, followers of Jesus Christ, need to be clear on where our help comes from. We don't need to hedge our bets. The God we serve doesn't really need our help. The God that we serve is altogether sufficient to wage war and to cause us to be victorious on his own.
Yes.
So the question becomes, what is the proper response when our heart is tempted to trust in another? What is the proper response when our heart is tempted to trust in another? In the text of 1 Samuel, we discover the Lord's people. These are the Israelites, the Hebrews, God's favorite people, whom the Lord was to bless the entire world through them. And God has begun blessing them. They are in the land of promise. And because God has been so good, they begin to underestimate, undervalue his presence and his person among them.
Amen.
They begin to look around them and see the other gods that their neighbors are worshiping, and they begin to worship their God too. They don't altogether turn away from the one true God. They just associate worship of other gods into their daily activities. And then slowly, over time, that becomes their religious habit. To worship the one true God and to worship these other gods. See, sometimes walking into heresy or false and idolatrous worship, it doesn't just happen overnight. Sometimes it happens slowly, like a slow drip from a faucet. It doesn't wreck things immediately, but over time, we can find ourselves drifting. Sometimes being too busy watching our neighbors and those around us, and we forget who has been all of our help. We begin to think that the gods around us or some of these other things are the source of our supply. Can you imagine folk who are only blessed because of God becoming superstitious? Placing faith in something and someone else who they know is not Yahweh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we look at them too smug.
Great thought.
You look straight ahead.
Yeah.
It's true that sometimes we get nosy and looking to the left and to the right. The Lord has told us to follow him only.
Yeah.
We become heads in our beds. We become superstitious and spooky. We worship God. We love God. We believe in God. But just in case. We carry 4-inch clovers, rabbit feet.
Yeah.
We don't slip holes.
Yeah.
We don't slip on cracks.
Yeah.
We can't rest if we don't eat black eyed peas on
Yeah.
Yeah. When we do it, that ain't what brought us over. But somehow we have allowed that to creep into our worship, and we have
Amen.